So how could we change this code so that we get a real we can really enjoy watching this bug change its color every single time? Well, there's a couple ways you could do it. You could turn this into a loop, right? You could create a temporary color variable where you store the current color. Notice I'm calling the getColor method and everything's compiling. That's going all the way up into the actor class and getting the color object there. And then I could put this in a while loop. So notice what I'm doing here. Here I'm recording what my current color is, and I'm putting in a while loop while the current instance variable of the color is still temporary. Well, then we're going to keep picking a random index and changing the color. Unless we're ridiculously lucky, this won't spin for too long. Hopefully this will work. It's not very elegant. I don't like this solution. I'm going to show you what I think is a better one. There it changed. Ooh. Is that yellow to yellow? No, it looked like it was orange to yellow, so I'm gonna call that a win. It looked, oh, that looked like it was still red. Red, green, red, light blue, yellow. Let's see, I don't know if that's the same color. $255, 200, 0. They are different colors. That's good. All right, that makes me feel better. One of them must be yellow and one of them must be light orange or one of those other kind of weird colors. So they are different. So it is working. Anyway, I'm going to call it a win. Let's say that works. All right. But do you see how this is kind of unsatisfying? You're kind of forcing the computer to work in a somewhat random thing, maybe working harder than it ought to. There must be a more elegant way of making this work. What I like is, why don't we say, hey, let's always just put the current color of this bug in the 0 index, and then we will always pick a random color, not including the 0 index. Does that make sense? And then you don't have to put this in a loop. You'll always know that you're grabbing a new color. So in this case, we don't need a loop. We don't need a temporary variable. This time the random index will always be possible colors.length -1, because we're not going to pick any of the possible colors. But then we're also going to add 1 to the final result. By adding 1 to the final result, random index can never be 0. And by decreasing the possible totals, it means that we can only pick out of 6 in this case instead of just 1. Now, when I set the color, I will be setting it to anything that is not in the 0 index. So what we ought to do now is swap whatever is in the 0 index with this index right there. Anytime we do a swap, remember you need a temporary variable, so we will store whatever's in the 0 index in temp. So now I've copied over the 0 index with whatever the random index is, and now, so this is, again, we've studied swaps before. These 3 lines swap 2 values in an array, and the idea here is we're just always storing the current color in the 0 index so that it won't be chosen a second time. This is a personal preference thing. The loop is fine. If you wrote a loop on a test, I would give you full credit this year, but I just kind of think it's inelegant, and this is another way of thinking about how to control for not having duplicate values. Hopefully it'll work. Red, magenta, green, blue, magenta, green, red, magenta, blue, or that's cyan, green, red. Looks like it's working. Yeah, unless we're super careful. Yeah, looks like it's good. All right.